They wanna be against me so bad. I really be trying to like
against us. You anticipated them being against us before the camera came on.
Welcome to Monet's show.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Keeping It Unfiltered. Today we have two very special guests. Since y'all saw Shique before, we have Kai.
I mean, y'all heard me before. Y'all just ain't seen me before.
Yeah. And we have Shique again. Yay. Okay. So today's topic is why guys are afraid to commit. And before we get started, I just want to say, if you notice, I said guys and not men, because men aren't afraid to commit. So this conversation is disregarding men.
You gonna say,
let's get
guys,
started. Because men aren't afraid to commit.
Men aren't. I feel like men are choosy, but isn't everybody allowed to be choosy?
I'm about to say everybody choosy.
Yeah.
Everybody has a preference.
But people genuinely have commitment issues, which is a whole other thing. Before I get into all the questions, because there are a bunch of questions and comments that people have for you guys, who would like to go first on why they believe men are afraid to commit? Or are you guys afraid to commit?
No. I'm not afraid to commit.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with committing. I just think that everybody's guidelines is different, and if you don't see the same guidelines, the commitment ain't really gonna make a difference. In my opinion.
Timing.
What about timing?
Saying, like, is that what you mean? Like, right person, wrong time?
Yeah,
like
like,
right time?
It could be that. It could be right person, wrong time, or it could be the amount of time that you know you're kicking it with somebody, and then you feel like you're ready to go there with them.
Well, what's considered wrong time?
That might be at two different points in your life.
Like one of y'all might be at the H phase, the whole phase. Say it. Yeah.
You got that?
No, I mean you got that, but that's pretty that's premature. Like I wouldn't really consider that. It's more about like real life stuff.
I think men and women operate off of like two different clocks. Like men operate off of a financial clock. Like we want our life to be in a certain position before we can really see ourselves giving full commitment, where I think women operate understanding like they know there's like a biological thing. Y'all got a certain amount of time to do certain things. So it's like y'all want to have things situated by like 25 max. It'd be like by 25 if it ain't together, I ain't with it.
Well, no, I won't really say that. I feel like women, notice I didn't say girls.
You gotta give them an extra 3 years, bro. 28.
Women to get their stuff together. That's not true. That's why I said women and girls are two different people. Now, for women, they just look at quality. Like, of course, money probably plays a part if they have their own and then have their stuff together. But I don't feel like that would necessarily slow them down from being with someone who isn't rich, if that makes sense, or is not at the point where they can pay all of their bills as soon as they meet them. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, that makes sense. It's just, it's not that is the issue per se. It's just that if you find yourself in a position where ideally you want the man to make certain, or there's certain things that you have when you talk about the ideal man. If you're dealing with a man who don't check off a majority of those things, it's not that you won't be committed to him per se, but the way and how you view him over time is just going to play a part into how that relationship go. If you have, let's say you have a checklist for a guy, you feel me? You got to do this, you got to have this, he has to be on his way to doing these different things.
Right. If
you come across a guy, say, you feel me, he's well-spoken, he's handsome, but maybe it's just a couple things that he don't check off. Not to say that you and him can't get along, but the chances of you taking that person as serious are less. That's commitment within itself too. Because if you can't see yourself taking somebody serious based off of the qualities in which they don't have.
Well, that's also like you shouldn't be involved with them in the first place. Like, wouldn't that mean that? instead of wasting people's time.
Well, I mean, you got to be involved with somebody at least a little bit to see what their qualities are.
Yeah. I guess I'm talking about like surface qualities.
Well,
Like,
I believe the first 3 months, what you experience with a person ain't real. Once after you get past that 3 months, then you start to see. So it's a lot of people who show great qualities the first 3 months, and then after them 3 months, those wasn't their real qualities. Those were just the marketable things.
Facade.
I don't believe there's a timing for stuff like that, though. I feel like having that timing in your head is definitely going to draw you back from committing to somebody, though. You trying to sit there and be like, oh, I'm trying to wait to this 3 month mark to see if this person is really who they say they are.
No, that's not what I'm saying, though. I'm saying, like, you get with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You ever be with somebody and be like, damn, man, the first 3 months I was with you, it was perfect. The honeymoon phase. Then after that 3 months, you start seeing things that somebody might not have shown you the first 3 months or even the first month.
Very different behavior. Very different.
I really don't agree. I really don't. I feel like I was in the honeymoon phase for like years in my relationship.
Well, that's what
until
people
I
be
was
hoping and wishing, to be in a honeymoon phase for years.
All right, so now with that being said, you being in that phase for years, what was the turning point and then it all went downhill? So was he portraying that image for as long as he could till he couldn't hold up no more, he just had to unleash it and be himself again, or was it a real thing?
And honestly, I don't want to speak for him. I think that was part of it. But I also think that maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. I don't even think that it was more so he was hiding himself. It's just like he didn't want to be at a certain standard, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't feel like the way we were operating was bad. I just felt like he wanted to still do childish stuff, which...
And not have to worry about what you would think about it.
Exactly. And it's just like, at that point, like, no offense, but I feel like that's just the growth part on that person. Like, that don't have nothing to do with me. Because like I said, if we progressing, we moving forward and growing older, like, I would expect us to move differently, you know?
Right.
So if you want to move backwards, like, that's kind of on you. So I would say that probably was something that he was tucking away. But I think that was a very childish aspect because we only get older. Like, we don't get any younger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just feel like, and I think that my issue was, and I feel like for anybody, especially when going into that whole committing thing, is not peeping the red flags and understanding them and recognizing them.
I'm going to agree with you on that because they definitely be there, or at least some of them. Maybe not all, some of them. You just overlook it because you really like the person at the time.
And my favorite color, red, so it's like...
Man, I want to ask y'all this too. When is the last time y'all been in a committed relationship? Well, you currently.
Yeah. So
It's been a little minute. Maybe
Been a little minute.
a year or two. Maybe even 3. I don't even know.
Why is that?
Why is it? Because I feel like I don't fit the requirements of today's woman.
What?
Yeah. Before that, definitely was like 3 years ago. Before this one, definitely was like good 3-4 years ago.
I guess I got a lot of work to do on myself.
Well, what is the requirement that you think today's women...
I gotta make some more money. I gotta go to therapy. I gotta get a little more. I gotta experience a little bit more. I just gotta do more.
What's experience?
I said experience.
Yeah, what is experience a little more?
I don't know, bro. Nowadays, how I am, the modern girl considered boring on God.
What is...
I don't do the most. I don't go out. I don't like to party often. I don't do all that stuff. That's boring. That's somebody that's a homebody. Not all girls, but a majority of girls, y'all want to go out. Y'all want to experience things. Y'all want y'all partner to go out with y'all. I don't enjoy being out in certain settings.
Hold on. Let's make this clear. Before we move forward, don't consider me y'all with these females. I'm not them.
Well, y'all is just the group that it
The
applied
females.
to. The females that it applied to. That's y'all. Them.
Them.
Them. All right. Y'all.
Them.
Bruh.
No, one of them. First off. Second off.
One of them ones.
No, I don't think that's entirely... You know what I really want to say, though? What type of female are you trying to or do you want to commit to? The female you just described to me is like not, okay, let's say like she's not a homebody.
A hoochie mama.
Who's that hoochie mama? Wait, can you say hoochie mama?
She's not she's not a homebody.
No, it's not even. I don't even know. Because when you speak on certain subjects, you got to be real mindful of how you speak on things. But like, I just think that the way and how I envision my life is boring to a modern girl.
How do you envision your life that would be boring to a modern girl? Not city girl. So you're not including a city girl.
A lot of the things that I need to do in my life to be to where I want to be requires a lot of work, which means it requires a lot of my time. In order to satisfy a woman, you have to have time to give her. And if you can't give her the time and the attention, you can't satisfy her. And that doesn't mean that you don't like her.
It's a fucking...
It's flying.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
He thought he was fixing the hair. He's like, nah.
It's funny because I didn't even see you. Okay. So you feel like that you got to sit there and get yourself together before you could fully commit to somebody.
Because in any case where I thought that I could commit without it, it all fell horribly. And that might not even be the reason. There might be other factors, but I blame a majority of that to that.
Shique, what did you feel like you had to do? Like, do you feel like you weren't committing to people because of the type of women they are, or because you felt like you had to get yourself together as well?
No, I just wasn't the relationship type. I'm still not. To be honest,
I'm
like
romantic, certified lover boy.
I'm gonna just keep it. I'm gonna just keep it a stack. Like I don't really like. It's a lot. It take a lot to impress me. I'm gonna just say that, and like I just don't be liking a lot of stuff that I be seeing. So I just rather just chill and you know, like if somebody come to me that show me different, then I'll show you different as well. But I don't know, like all the stuff I see on Instagram and all the stuff I see on social media, all the stuff I see out in person, period, like just being outside, period, it don't excite me. All the, you know, some females know what they doing. Like, it is what it is. It's whether you're doing it for attention, you're doing it for money, you're doing it because you like it. I don't. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like, I just chill. And the type of people that, you know, I end up in a relationship with don't do that type of stuff. They not on the gram being provocative. They just not carrying themselves like that. They carry themselves a little bit differently. Some type of uniqueness to them, like something like they just do something that not every other female do out here. It's just like little stuff like that. But not all. It doesn't. You know, it's not going to justify the fact, like, you know, it might not last, stuff like that.
Right.
But that's just the little stuff that I look for.
Well, where are y'all looking for these women? Because, you know, a lot of females today, they feel like all guys have a commitment issue or all guys are being choosy and things like that. So
when we say choosy,
we all
not choosy. I don't think it's. Listen, I could come up with 1,000 reasons on why men won't commit. I could come up with 1,000,000 reasons why females won't commit. But because y'all on here, I'm gonna let y'all talk and speak for the men.
I mean, it's choosing. Anybody could choose. Like I seen it happen all the time.
I feel like men are very less like it is become this year that it's become the conversation. Like men set boundaries, men have standards. For a long time, fellas went for whatever. Fellas was just going for whatever at the end of the day, and girls had their specific, you know, 6 feet. You got to be this, you got to do that. That was always we ain't have that. It wasn't a girl got to be this and do that at a point in time. Then over time, it was like when you realize y'all can have a preference, men can have a preference too. But then when men have a preference, we get called choosy, sassy, and anything else under. So it's like, I'll tell guys that it's your fault that all this is happening and y'all need to be more accountable, set boundaries, and do such. But then when we do those things, it's another reason for women to say, oh, look at the men of this generation. These men ain't nothing. Oh, Lord. I don't know.
I agree with that.
It just make it hard to commit. Because how you commit to that?
Yeah.
How you commit to negativity? Negativity, man.
But I feel like that's the thing that both men and women got to understand. Overall, both going to have standards, and whatever standards there are, like, so be it. If somebody say that they want somebody to cook and clean and not work, Like, I'm not saying that's a logical thing, but if that's what they require, that's what they want, don't be with that person.
I don't want you to not work. Please, be busy. Be very busy.
Well, Shique don't want y'all to not work. Yeah, like, I feel like women do get mad at men's standards and their reasons for not committing. Because I feel like when you talk to a female, if y'all say this 3-month thing, or you feel like more and more you get to learn how she is, if you decide not to commit, I don't think people are wrong for that. And some people would like to disagree. That leads me into the question. Why do y'all mistreat / lead on women you don't want to be with?
All right, I'm going to start first with that one. How are we supposed to know that we don't want to be with you without knowing you? It takes getting to know if you're going to want to be with somebody, or, you know, you're just trying to have fun with them, or whatever you want to call it. It's just like, how can you get mad at somebody? Well, I understand the leading on part. If you keep extending it even after you already know, like, I don't like this person, like, yeah, once you get the grasp that you don't like that person, just dead it. I'm going to pass it to you after that, because that's how I really feel on that.
I think that at the end of the day, if you lead any relationship with expectation and entitlement, the only thing that you're guaranteed is disappointment. And what I mean by that is, even when you meet somebody, you might meet somebody and they show you glimpses of everything that you don't like, yet you still want to find a reason to like them. There might be still qualities that you enjoy about them, but it's some stuff that you don't. But you think that if you continue to tolerate the things that you do, that maybe that person gonna change the things that you don't. When the reality is, like, the more you tolerate, the more you teach people how to treat you. So it's not always along the lines of, like, why, because it's hard to answer that question. Why do men misuse and mistreat and hurt? The reality of it is you got to be able to upfront, be able to express your expectations upfront. And if a person can tell you upfront that I don't think I'm gonna be able to meet your expectations, you got to be strong enough and disciplined enough to be able to be like, well, you're not for me. Now, a lot of the times, that don't be the case on both parties. Both parties can know that they're not good for each other and that they mistreat and misuse each other. But because you feel comfortable and you feel familiar, you might have time and history and all that, you choose to put up with it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we don't mistreat or mislead until after we have sex, and then now if we don't like them, it's you let me on, or you did that,
Yeah.
You know?
And honestly, as a female, like, I mean, I don't even gotta put my business out there. I haven't been doing much, but I'm just saying, I purposely don't run and jump into stuff like that for that part right there. Because, like, before all of that happens and before you sit there and you show me how serious you are or whatever, like, I'm not about to sit there and, like, depend on you that much, if that makes sense. And it's like, I feel like, as you said, like, with sex, giving your body is, like, it takes it to a whole nother planet, especially for a female. That's why we should not be sitting here we shouldn't give it up to people and have expectations for them. Like, I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I feel like you should give it to a person who you know can meet your expectations. You shouldn't just give it to people and then want expectations for them.
I think that'd be the thing, though, is they be having so many, not even, because that's not a hard expectation to expect for you to be satisfied sexually. But the thing is, a lot of girls don't be satisfied sexually, and they think that jumping around to the next person, you're going to find satisfaction.
No, it's in your feelings. It's honestly about your feelings. Like, females think it's corny, it's this and that. No, you don't really like him, and he don't really like you, for real. You don't have no type of chemistry. You don't have no type of connection. So you doing all of that for what? I don't know, men. Can y'all agree? Do y'all feel like the connection make it different?
Some. I mean, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, like for men, it's a little bit different as to how we. Like, don't get me wrong. It's definitely still niggas that act like definitely still fellas that act like that.
No, I feel like it definitely do be better when you know you actually like the person. More into it, I would say.
Right, when it's meaning, like, and that be the thing, when you put yourself in a position where you having a bunch of meaningless connections and meaningless sex, when you meet people, you don't treat it with that seriousness that you probably should. So a lot of people, you might come across good, meaningful people, but you treat the relationship bad because you just used to temporary things.
That's true. I also wanted to say too, like, you made a point earlier about how, you know, you set your expectations in the beginning and then someone lets you know if they can't meet the expectation, right? You could still set your expectation in the beginning and the person could still lie or pretend that they're going to meet your expectations, but that's when you need to really lean on the actions. Like,
that's leading on.
Yeah, but you also have to pay attention to the actions. If they actions not following up,
Right, what they
you got to
say,
be willing to leave.
An apology without changed actions is manipulation.
Yeah,
That's true.
Louder than words.
That's true, but we also cannot allow people to manipulate us. And I'm not trying to like do any victim blaming or anything like that, but I'm just saying like there have been situations where I had to pull back from, and you don't even want to, like, especially if you love the person and really care about the person, but I'm not even going to give you the chance to do that. I just got to pull myself back.
Facts.
I'm not saying I did it as fast as I should. Like, it took some learning, especially when you're like with that one person, but don't even give them the chance to do that and disappoint you. Dirty.
It take a lot of inner work to do that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times you think that you fighting that person when in reality you fighting yourself.
Yeah.
Willpower.
Yeah.
Willpower, facts.
And discipline. Next question is, what does it take for a guy to take a girl seriously and treat her correctly?
Patience, understanding. I'm probably forgetting some stuff, but I ain't gonna lie, patience and understanding are two of the biggest things, because I think, like I said, because women operate off of a different clock, y'all don't have a level of patience. But then the understanding part, it makes the difference, because if you can take the time to understand, you give yourself a little bit more time. But even in a world where it's like all the conversations is men versus women, why men don't do this, why women don't do this. So the reality is, it's just nobody truly understand nobody. So if it ain't no understanding, every day is going to be a misunderstanding.
I will say too, though, women, he got a point, but at the same time, if you don't want to understand or put up with their situation, just don't be with them.
No back.
Yeah.
No back.
Because I get people want understanding. Anybody would want understanding. And I like how you said in the beginning, like, you know, you can't really give your time right now to people. So it's just like you feel like you can't really commit to somebody.
Right.
But a lot of times, you know, people will still get in a situation with people who are upfront and saying they can't give their time and want to understand just because they like them.
Right.
If you know you require time, if you know you like to spend time with that person, you want that person to take you out, and you have your own set standards, don't lower them just because you feel like, oh, I should be understanding to be with them. No.
Accountability work both ways.
Yes, it do. And also, don't get with them and still try to bash them for not spending time with you. They told you they didn't have enough time.
Yeah,
listen
like
to what they say.
The fake understanding, that's a big bad part. Like you can meet somebody and up front you'll let them know everything, and they'll try to be understanding in the beginning.
Right.
But then after that, they don't be as understanding as you thought that they was. So,
Yeah.
but I told you what it was already.
Right.
Yeah, patience, understanding, driven to do something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You gotta care about yourself. To me, like, I feel like if a person cares about themselves and care about how they look, how they gonna carry it, what type of career they gonna have, what they gonna do in the next 5-10 years, I feel like you're gonna be the best of you're gonna be yourself to your best ability. So
Forward thinking and open minded.
yeah.
Because I think that a lot of the times we'll have conversations on relationships and commitments. And even we talk about relationships, we want to be married one day and this, that, and the third. But when we really talk about how we operate on a day-to-day, we don't be trying to grow and build for real.
Don't take it's like there's no steps taken to.
I can't commit. I can't commit to something that I
you
don't see a
wanna
future
achieve.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And seeing the future, it ain't even like you see the future together with somebody. Sometimes you meet somebody, and it's like the way and how their life is structured and the way how your life is structured, you can see something being built around it. Sometimes people want you to build your life around them.
That's
might
true.
work for some people, but then if I build my life around you, what am I doing outside of that?
Right.
Or how you gonna provide for me while I'm building my life around you?
And then if I'm supposed to be the man, I'm supposed to be providing. But if I'm building my life around you, I'm not focusing on them core areas that I'm supposed to be focused on as a man. To be able to bring those things back to you and balance out what you need.
I would say though, some females, I get where they're coming from with this. Females, let's stop doing this though. We don't have to sit here and raise no man. They're not our sons. They are supposed to be partner. They are our partners. At the same time, I get why some females sit there and believe that, like, okay, let's say if a female has her own place, right? Not me. But some females will be willing to say, oh, just come live with me, you know, and you probably not all the way on your feet and stuff like that. Like, a lot of females feel like that, like, as, like, a nurturer, basically, like, you know, and they want to have that partner and stuff. Let him be an equal, especially if you just met him. It's one thing if somebody just, like, kind of came into a dip, but just see what he gonna do and see how he could hold his own first. Like, I feel like that's a big part about somebody building around you, or
that's why
their
y'all
life
find
is
yourselves
focused
living
around
with
you.
bums, because y'all don't see it for
Exactly.
If he can hold his own, y'all hold him down
They
before
don't
he
see
get
how
to
it's
it.
restriction, bro. They don't
Same with
see-
females.
You don't see the
same
restriction
with
in
males.
that. Like it's a bunch of restriction in that. You telling me to come live with you, but then as soon as I come live with you, a month later you asking me for the gas, electric, internet, and water bill.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, you could have just hit me up and
Together.
be like, I need help.
Exactly. How am I supposed to get myself together if you asking me for all that and I ain't even have it to pay where I was at before,
Right.
or I wasn't paying rent where I was before,
Right.
paying these things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's a restriction way. It like I don't really see it as like a setup type thing. It could be a woman in need, but just don't want to voice it like that. But it also could be a setup.
I believe that the woman in need is in a setup. They go hand in hand, in my opinion.
Talk to talk. Go ahead. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm listening.
They go hand in hand. But I do believe that some people are just in love and they want to be with their partner. But the setup in you in need, you know what you're doing. I don't care what no females say. A lot of females look at it. He could come in. He could pay my bills. He can't even pay his car insurance. How is he paying your bills, babe? Your bills are over $1,000.
He could pay
And his car insurance
insurance, and
yeah.
be dead broke after that.
Exactly. Like, come on, ladies. We got to do better, for real, for real.
It's not even it's just not even about the doing better, like, because I'm not trying to shame nobody that don't got it, because once upon a time I ain't have it. We probably all you felt
Yeah,
it,
no, when I
have
say
it.
that we got to do better, as in, like, not putting ourselves in these situations, because now when he move in and he can't pay your bills, now you're mad at him.
Mhm,
Now he's a bum. And now it's like, okay, all of a sudden now y'all got kids. Like, it's just a whole bunch of stuff that wound up happening. And now you want him to do more. He wasn't even on his feet before he got there.
Yeah, you gotta
Give
vet
him
you gotta
time.
vet people out.
And we're so young trying to rush people to come live with our partners and all of that. Nah, I'm not
I moved
rushing
in
nothing.
3
yo.
months. 3 months.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't even know each other.
Yeah. I ain't rushing nothing.
That's a fact.
I don't
About
care
a
if we
year,
both
they
got
not
our
even
own
the same
place.
person. You find out that they ain't even, you feel me? They don't clean up after they sell.
Yeah.
They don't do
All types of
this.
stuff.
It could be anything. All because you want to rush. You don't want to take your time and really vet a person out. See how they is on their own before they come bring it to your door. Nah.
Right. So someone made a comment about guys committing, that they don't want to be, that they do know how to commit. They just want to be whores. Am I done? And the second part is because they don't know what love is. That's why they don't commit.
I think
All
every-
right, so
go
whoever
ahead.
that is, we gonna talk about that often because I really want to know who that is, and I want to ask her definition. I'm gonna have a real conversation with her. I want to know
Or
what
be
her
love.
definition of love is,
Okay, right.
so I could eat live.
Yeah, because I've actually come to the conclusion that when it comes down to love, men and women have two different things with love. And what I mean is, a majority of men, when it comes down to like, yeah, we want to be loved, but a majority of our love, we feel love when we're respected, right? And if we're not
Wow.
respected, we won't feel the love. Y'all feel y'all love from the attention. If you don't get the attention, you don't feel the love.
Yeah.
I don't even gotta say none of that.
That's how you
That's
feel?
on point.
I believe that that's probably how men look at it. In terms of women, I guess you can kind of say that attention does play a part, but it's not more so like the attention that people think like, oh no,
Yeah,
I
it's
want you to
levels
be
to
all
attention. No
about
bad.
yeah, it's like it's not about, oh, I want you to be all about me. No, it's just like I love like that you have your interest in me. I don't even know if you're really interested in me.
Tell them that's your definition because
Well, that's my definition.
I was about to say
Right, because people
you
say
got obsessive attention seekers.
Yeah, that's why it says levels.
Yeah, obsessive attention seekers.
Yes, and
like
that's not
capital
normal
obsessive,
though.
capital obsessive.
But people who are like that, that's not normal. You just
But
want
we
him
live in
to
a
be so
society where
concerned
when they
about you.
open up their phone and they go on Instagram, that you got a bunch of outlets and black media outlets specifically that are encouraging such behaviors and are normalizing it. This obsessive behavior is normal because when you really like somebody, you just like that. But then I personally feel like the obsessive behavior is only more tolerated from women than men.
Because we aware though if we like that, very much so.
Well,
got
I said the
numerous
females are the
examples.
weirdo. I think men are weird too if they
No, yeah, for
do
sure.
that. There's levels to it, but I know for females, at least for me, you're right. My definition of it. There's no way you can fake an interest. Somebody could try it all day long. I know what I consider interest towards me,
Right.
just like another female. So I feel like when I receive that certain attention, or when you show me, or when you consistency, things like that go into play, that's how I would know. Like, if you're in the
Definition of obsess means to preoccupy or fill the mind of someone continually, intrusively, and to a troubling extent.
yeah, that's why I'm like obsessive is weird.
I don't think obsessed should be used in any good term.
Copy. Got you. Healthy obsession. Obsession.
I'm
is a
not gonna
bad
act
word.
like I
Copy.
never said that
I
before.
respect that.
But I didn't mean it that way. But I'm not gonna act like I
Because the
never
way
said
it
sex.
gets,
I probably did.
the way it gets normalized in a healthy way, and it's not, because any way
Obsession isn't healthy.
obsession
It's
is not healthy.
Right.
You being obsessed over someone can lead to you doing things to yourself.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
You
Yeah.
couldn't imagine doing if you didn't meet that person before.
Right.
So why would you want to be obsessed over someone? Yeah, it's great to be in love with someone. It's great to really like someone.
I think a
Right.
lot of people define their love like if you're not obsessed with me, then you're not in love with me.
No,
Right.
everybody has
right.
their own life outside of their partner.
They do.
So how can I be obsessed with somebody if I had a life before I met you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
still have to continue that life.
It's levels to all of that stuff. I mean, like the obsession part, no. But like you said, really, really like somebody, or you're in love with someone, like those are things that you can feel without someone going overboard. Like the way they treat you will really show you how much they care, love you, and things of such. And like broken promises and stuff like that, that's real iffy. Especially if it's early on. Like y'all need to question that.
Show you if they're
And run.
crazy or not.
And that too. Yeah, pay attention to that. That crazy stuff is not cute. Like a lot of people are doing that now is because everybody else on social media acting crazy and normalizing it and making it look cute. You're not cute if you bash his windows. I said what I said. Can you cheat and still love someone? I think my answer has changed too, but
I mean, yeah. I'm gonna say yes to that because like I don't know, I just watch a lot of TV from before. Like, I just watch a lot of TV, and
let me write my question down for.
it's like you can become unattracted to somebody, but you can still love them. You know what I mean? So when it comes to sex, it's physical attraction. It's not all. It's like it could be just physical attraction sometimes. It's not always emotional. With your partner or with somebody you love, it's emotional and physical. With somebody you just, I'm not physically attracted to my person right now, or we've been going through this, that, and the third, X, Y, and Z, and I'm not really physically attracted to my person right now, and you get the urge to really want to still do it. You know what I mean? It's not right at all, but them urges be having to be settled, and they go screw anybody. You know what I mean? It don't necessarily have to be somebody that you're emotionally attached to. And I don't feel like that takes away from the love you have from a person just because you went and did something with somebody else. You know what I mean? Yeah, it hurts, and it shows a little bit of selfishness and not really caring. But at the end of the day, like, you think all that love just go
You
away
said earlier.
from you
can.
just
Okay.
doing that? You think all the love goes away from you just doing that? Like, just being honest.
You asking me?
Yeah.
I just can't imagine me being in love with somebody and doing that. I know everybody's different. But I feel like when you love somebody, you think, like, if I perform this action, how would that make that other person feel?
How would that make the other person feel? That's what usually stops
and that's
you.
but that's why it should stop you. So if you go ahead and do that, I'm going to question a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to question a lot, including love. And I know a lot of people, like, you just explained it, and I feel like it's a well-explained thing. But how can you sit there and just think about how that's going to hurt somebody
It goes back
and
to will.
still do it? And whether you think you're going to get caught or not, I don't care how light, I don't care how heavy you cheat, whatever.
I think that a lot of times when it comes down to cheating, stuff comes down to satisfaction. And nowadays, especially because we overload ourselves with so much of other people's opinions, we find reasons to no longer be satisfied with people. And then when we make certain decisions, we realize that was never really truly our original thought to begin with. We was just acting off of a emotional impulse. And a lot of the times, people who cheat can't talk to their partner about dissatisfactions without it going into a full-fledged battle. Not saying that it has to be an agreement per se, but to be able to bring to your partner something that you don't like, that you're not fond of, I think is an important part of having a cohesive relationship.
Right.
But most people make the relationship about, if I don't hear all of the things that I like to hear, then I'm in a bad relationship, versus it being just some things that need to be worked on. But if you don't bring it to their attention of what need to be worked on, you're going to continue to do the same thing. So if it's something about you that's not satisfying me, and I can't tell you because that's going to make you feel a way, that means I have to either, 1, leave completely, 2, put up with the dissatisfaction. And even with putting up with the dissatisfaction, that's not going to lead to a healthy relationship of how we communicate on the day-to-day anyways.
Right.
I mean, I personally think that you can still love somebody. Now, whether or not the decision was right, that's a whole nother thing. But, I mean, a lot of the times, I feel like there's just a lot of work that got to be done in the aftermath that prove whether or not you really love somebody.
What if they tell you?
They tell you what?
That they cheated.
Did they tell you?
It was just weighing on them, like, yeah, like that. Like, she was saying something about, like, how can you have that on your conscience? Like, how can you do, like, you'll think about that
crazy.
stuff. Yeah,
right, so somebody cheats on you, and then the next day they tell you. Is it
not
make it better?
Not even the next day. They just, it could be. They won't wait a super long time.
Right.
It could be the next day. You know what
right.
I mean? But
they let me know.
Yeah.
Well, they feel guilty about it for sure. I try to run down in my head, like, not to sound crazy, not to say I'm perfect or anything, not to even say I even spoke to someone, not that I had, like, but that my partner probably wasn't okay with. I'm not going to make it seem like I'm perfect. But to do something like that, to cheat on somebody, and as far as, like, bro, like, I don't care when you tell me. You should have thought about me. Why you didn't think about me?
But even like what you said, there's levels to cheating. So, for example, the message. If somebody messes somebody, you never changed your number. You might have deleted the thread. You ain't blocking them, but you just deleted the thread. You don't talk to them, blah, blah, blah. Somebody decided, you still got the same number. You go through their phone and you see that they was having a conversation with somebody. It wasn't saved. You go, who is this? And they go, such and such. They being honest about it, but regardless, you don't like the fact that, you feel me? So you're going to find a reason to be like, well, you're not being honest with me. You're probably cheating on me. It's all going to start regardless. If you going to find something. If you're looking for it, you'll find it.
No, you're not. Why do y'all keep saying that?
Because
we going to cut this out, too.
Okay, you know what? Maybe we got two different perceptions. When you say that, I'm thinking
there's levels to looking. You can go out of your way to look for something, and then
listen. This is what I'm trying to say to y'all. When I say looking to find something, I mean through your phone through your Instagram account.
So it
I'm
has to
not
be
talking about
specific.
somebody. Yes,
It
I'm
doesn't
saying
have to be just going
specifically.
out of your way to do something unnecessary. It has to be in this specific way.
I'm not saying it has to be in that specific way. What I'm saying is when I'm talking about looking through someone's stuff,
Right.
I'm saying you're looking through their phone through their being their phone. You're looking through their account, being as though that being their account. So their DMs. If you are not doing anything inappropriate while you are dealing with your partner, they should not find anything.
All right, cool.
That doesn't mean I'm looking
Girl
to
go
find
through
something.
her man's phone. Her
You
man
just
is
said-
her man is a model.
Okay.
She goes through his DMs and it's a plethora of girls that just likes to slide up on every picture and just heart eyes them.
What? That's not finding something. That's girls who like to show them attention.
Then they say they trying to work together, and then my response is, "Yeah, well, we could collab."
You're a model, and that's
But-
something that your partner should understand. If your partner does not understand that, then maybe they have to rethink that. Just like a male massage therapist. I'm saying if you are with a male massage therapist, no, he's going to put his hands on other females. I'm not okay with that. So I'm not going to be with a massage therapist.
Even though that's his job, man, he brings.
I'm not going. If you tell me you're a massage therapist, I don't want to be with you. I don't want your hands on other females, and that's my choice.
Okay, now boom. Let's sit with that whole thing right there. That's beautiful.
Bro.
That's beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's my standard.
But let's just go for an example. A girl who
work at a strip club.
work at a strip club, she's a bottle girl, whatever, and a man says, or a fella, guy, whatever word you want to use today, say, I don't want you doing that. I don't want you to be in them environments, exposing yourself that way.
slapping
Do you
your
know what
butt.
But you know what we get called? We get called
Misogynist.
insecure and controlling.
But who are you
Misogynist.
being called that by?
Bro.
Little girls. No woman is going to say that. That is
Bro,
your preference.
I've literally had
It's women that's
conversations with
strippers.
older women,
And
they'll tell
and
you
guess what?
that's insecure of a man.
And guess what? They are little girls. I don't care if she's 50. You're a little girl.
I hear
You're
you,
allowed.
but you're gonna have to tell that to your viewers.
They
gang.
are little girls. I don't care how old you are. If your man does not want you to strip and you decide to go ahead and still do it anyway, that's your decision and that's his decision for not wanting to be with you. That
Wait,
don't make
what?
him a little boy.
Right.
I feel like he knew what he was getting into. Now, if he met you at a strip club and he wants you to quit, I understand why y'all like, dang, that's weird. Why would you fall in love with me, do all this extra stuff, and then want me to quit stripping? And that's on the guy too. But you are a little girl if you sit there and think that there's a problem with a man not wanting his women to strip.
Let's go to the next question.
Y'all gotta be a little more harder than that.
Talk about looking for something, and you gotta look specifically through phones and all whatnot.
I'm saying that's my point of view of it. If you feel like there's other ways, we could talk
There's
about
other
that.
ways. You could go look through a female that I've been cool with for years, Instagram. You could go stalk their shit. All right, let me see if this nigga under their comments, and let me go see it with like.
Right.
That's looking for something.
And that's looking for something, but that don't mean she's gonna find nothing. You might not even be in the comment section.
But no, you're missing the point, gang.
I'm
So-
not saying looking is okay. I'm
but
just
no,
saying like
the point is not even about the looking. It's the way how you think about it. Like, if you go, like we said, looking for something, you're gonna find it. So the example being, if you go, say if your girl is feeling away or uncomfortable about a certain girl, if she goes on her page, even if she goes on the page and she goes, why you like every picture she posts? That's not going to go look for something.
I mean, I feel like that's doing too much.
Right, it's
but
fine
if
and
that's
stuff.
his friend, then like it shouldn't be a problem. I don't see why stuff like that would be a problem. That's weird if you get mad over your partner using Instagram to do what Instagram does for his friend. Like, if you want to like pictures, you could like pictures. Like, what? I know some females trip over that, so these are real questions, but I feel like, me personally, that's a little insane. Because I'm not going to stop liking my brother picture.
What would you say is obsessive?
I wouldn't really define it as obsessive because, like, there's levels. So a girl can sit there and think that you're liking a bunch of pictures and accuse you of, like, liking the girl, right? And there are some people that just assume that you are cheating with her. Does That makes sense.
I think both are the same thing because one leads to the other. But go ahead.
That's not true. You can have a crush on somebody and a girl can think that she's not even worried about you.
If you're with a girl and she is feeling a way to think that you liking a girl picture means that you like her, later on down the line, that's going to be enough to think that that might be a girl that she can see you cheating on her with, which follows into the next part.
Me as a female, I'm going to say no. I don't think that. I think that it really could be, well, you know what, let me speak for myself. Me personally, if I am concerned about a certain girl, or like, let's say somebody's like, oh, this look like this could be his type, you know, something like that. I'm not going to assume, because I personally don't assume that the girl is always giving him attention, if that makes sense, because I know guys are different than females. Like, if he's sitting there, I think that this is when it'll become a thing. When he's liking all her pictures and she's not even liking any of his, and they're random. Does that make sense?
But don't you think that's too much time that you're putting in to even see that that's happening?
I'm talking about if somebody is thinking about that.
But I'm saying though.
Yeah, I think
as
that
a person,
is too
that's
much.
a lot of thinking to be like, all right, let me go see how many. Oh, you like all their pictures.
Yeah.
Oh wait, but they don't like you. Already.
Yeah,
put too much
I'm just
thought
not
into
gonna
that.
act like
what
I
if
was
that's
never
somebody
there.
that I just don't know, and that's just somebody picture you like, and now you did all that thought for what?
Listen.
I just
Like I
feel
said, I ain't
people
gonna
put
act
too much
innocent.
thought and
It
energy.
is too much thought and energy, but I'm not gonna act like, you know, I've never done that before.
Yeah, for sure. Like, bro, it's the fact like girls will sit here and be like, guys like girls' pictures. I'm very sure that y'all liking guys' pictures too. Come on now, let's just be real. But then we talk the whole equality thing. It's not equal. We can't do what y'all do, and y'all can't do what we do.
But that's why I'm like, only put up with people who believe in equality. That's the thing.
It's not.
I feel like if you choose to deal with a female who don't believe y'all equal on that level,
All right.
that's on y'all.
This is, I'm not sure if I'm ready for my first appearance to be so controversial. But to say that men and women are completely equal, it just isn't true.
It's not.
So to seek out equality, I don't think is the goal. It's to seek understanding. I understand that this is what you do, and I understand that that's what you do.
Yeah, maybe I used the wrong word. You're right. I wouldn't say equality. I would say understanding. I say
balance.
equal. When I say equal, I mean
Balance.
like, say if you think that, the only reason why I will say equal, balance is included. But I say equal because I'm like, if you believe that, what did we just talk about? What was the example we just used?
Looking for something.
Looking at pictures, right? Y'all both should be able to look at pictures, and she's sitting there saying, no, only I can like pictures and you can't. I don't think you should be with that person, because every time you like
That's
a
the
female
thing, though.
picture,
It's never
she's going to feel some type of way.
up front. It's not an upfront thing like, yeah, I can do it. No, you can't. It's more of a, if a guy decide to be like, well, what about this? You're going to say, it's different.
And don't be with the it's different
Bro,
type female.
You literally have sat up here in this conversation and said it's different about 3 different times.
When did I say it's different?
You gotta run through.
Let's run through it, because when did we say it's different? I never
her.
said it's different.
All right, run through
He
it.
didn't get nothing.
We can stop now and run through it if you want. But
No,
don't do it.
tell me. I want you to tell me.
In the beginning.
What did I
There's
say?
been a couple different times where I sat here and it was like, all right, well, what about this, that, and the third? No, I don't think that's the same. That's actually different.
I'm talking about different with male and female. No, I did not. I did not say that about male and female.
All right, boss, I don't want to get you riled up. You ready to throw the gloves on.
No, I'm saying I did not say that with male and female. Unless y'all tell me it's different from a male point of view, I'm not going to say anything. I'm speaking from my point of view as a female. As far as like when it comes to intercourse, how y'all think about intercourse. I'm not going to speak on a male. I'm not a male when it comes to that. But your ideals as far as like what you would like to go on in a relationship, y'all should be on the same type time. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's not. But what I'm...
Yeah.
No, you didn't freeze me because I...
Sorry, the camera cut off. But I got a question for them. What is considered commitment? Do you count your situationships? Like, say if you do something outside of your situationship, is that considered cheating? Because I've heard, like, guys who don't really be in relationships and who are only in situationships, they think, like,
What is a
excuse me.
situationship?
messing around with a girl.
That's messing around with somebody. That's hanging out.
I agree. I don't know why people. I think it's because people don't have relationships, so they consider it a situationship.
Because the reality is that sometimes guys find themselves in situations where they might want to deal with a girl, but they're not ready to commit, but they can see themselves being in a situationship with them, and then that shit leads to a path of
Hot mess.
Not just friends with benefits.
Yeah, I agree too. I said the same thing, and someone told me that I was wrong. No, so can y'all agree that situationships and friendships
loyalty
are
in a
just? I mean,
situationship is optional.
Yeah.
You can be loyal if you really mess with that person. You can lock in with them, and you feel me. But it's optional because I know that people like to weigh their options out. There'll be a lot of people. Why am I being loyal to somebody and we're not even in an actual relationship? And you feel me? So all that stuff is valid at the end of the day. It's just it come down to, like I said, expectations, being upfront, and moving proper. That's it.
do you believe that friends with benefits and situationships are the same thing?
Basically,
Yeah.
I think they're the same thing.
What is the situation?
it's a different name. I
Somebody
think friends with
said
benefits
that-
sound a little better. A situation is not good, so a situationship don't sound good.
But
in
I
my
feel
opinion.
like even in friends with benefits. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I want to ask y'all this because I be having my own point of view
Right,
on
you
it.
had that
Is
episode
it friends with benefits? Is it friends with benefits your friend? Do y'all think that?
No.
Okay, this is coming out of a guy's mouth. Because some people be thinking I'm biased, but like that's coming out of a guy's mouth. No, so
We cool, but we not like we not friends because we could go do it at any time. I don't do my friends.
Right. Okay.
exactly
Yeah.
right. Like it's not your friend.
We could literally go do. Like I could hit you up and be like, "Yo, I'm trying." Yeah, man. I can't hit my friend up and say, "Yo, I'm trying." They could be like, "What,
Why
bro?"
It's
Yeah,
not
I
right.
wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. Period. But they're like, "Yeah, y'all not really friends, y'all." Kidding. I don't even know what the
Friends
call
with
it.
benefits.
Man.
Then you said you're using the word friends. Which
No, it's not considered that. It's just that we cool with benefits. That's what you really should call it. Cool with
Alright,
benefits.
Cool with benefits.
That's why we be separating it now. Like we be like, "Yeah, that's bro right there. I ain't on that word."
Do y'all believe? Well, I mean, me and you've been friends for like 10 plus years, and we cool.
Well, that's my
guys.
friend.
Right. So like y'all can have friends, right, without the actual relationship.
I can.
Yeah.
I don't know about everybody else.
Everybody ain't built the same.
Not everybody meant to, get cooked. Yeah,
I
not
just
everybody
feel
who
like you
encountered
said-
not meant to get cooked. You feel me? Just know that.
Yeah.
Some people will help you get to other places you want to be.
Also, I wanted to open the floor. Do y'all have any questions to ask me before we continue to speak? Even if they're controversial.
What is your definition of commitment?
Well, want a relationship, actual boyfriend and girlfriend. Even the talking stage, you can be committed. That means your loyalty, time, effort. Yeah, I feel like those things define like commitment. But I feel like when you get into a relationship, all the extra benefits come in. So like, dang, we so close in age now, so maybe you're not cooking for that person all the time, but you might do that when you're married to them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying don't cook for your boyfriend. I don't see nothing wrong with like cooking for your boyfriend.
All right. This is my follow-up question kind of off his because we was
Okay.
having a conversation with our folks about this earlier. So, how do you feel about the concept of like don't do wife things for a boyfriend?
I agree.
Submissive.
I don't know if I would use the word submissive. But no, I agree that you shouldn't. I'm gonna answer that first, and then I'm gonna say something about submissive.
No, I was saying that's how they used it.
Right.
And
They're two separate things to me. So for the whole thing with the wifey thing, I made that mistake. And what happens is, like, I don't know for other females, I know majority of females, in our minds, we be thinking we marry and we want to cater to the man and stuff. Girl, you ain't got no ring on your finger. Promise rings don't count. Because I was taking that very serious. Promise rings don't count.
Which also means don't expect
Where-
a nigga to pay your bills or do nothing for you.
Oh,
If you
yeah,
ain't
well, the
if y'all
bills
ain't
thing-
married,
The bills thing was never, ever
but that's not
a thing
that ain't
for
today's
me.
age. Not for you. We know
Yeah.
that you don't fit into the y'all. It's them. But you got to tell them that like that's what that mean. Though.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah, marriage is different, but that's another thing, though. I'm happy you brought up that because I feel like even in a marriage, it depends on how you want your relationship to run. Some females, very little, are fine with 50-50. That's okay. If y'all have that agreement in y'all relationship and that's what works for you, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I'm tired of females shaming 50-50. If they're happy, like, let them be able to do that. And there are some people who have a relationship where the guy is paying all the bills or majority of the bills and the woman is handling certain things. That's okay too. Whatever relationship's agreement is, that's fine. But ladies, one thing I will say is that even though a man is taking care of you, ain't nothing wrong with having your little hobby or working though. Like,
that's the
security.
whole point. That's the whole point of us taking care of y'all.
No, it's not.
Yes, that's my whole point behind it. At least if I'm doing X and Y and Z for you, and I'm taking on majority of the load, I expect you to be focusing on getting your situation right, or getting it, or doing what you necessarily want to do. Follow your dreams or something.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Just don't stay stagnant.
Right, but there's also like, you could feel that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
If me personally, I don't feel like we at the place where, okay, you could cover bills, cool, right? If I'm living a lifestyle where I like fancy things and all of that stuff, and unless you a millionaire, to keep it a bean, and somebody that I can trust with my whole entire life, like, we gonna be good. That's not something that, I don't want to say throw in my face, but it's just like, I don't know. I like to have my own.
Yeah, that's what I mean by that, though. That's what I mean. Like, even though somebody taking care of you, yeah, go get your own. Like, go focus on your dreams. Gonna make you money. It ain't your dream. Not.
But some people don't do that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, it's real iffy with saying that. Now, submissive, because I feel like that's part of being submissive too, allowing a guy to take care of you. I don't feel like there's things wrong with that. I feel like this may be an open, but I had a huge issue with that, of being submissive, as far as like, I don't know what it was. Like, I just was really like,
you wanted to
I don't
do
know how to explain
yourself.
it. That there you go.
I would never get mad at that.
It's not about getting mad at that, but if a man wants to take care of you, like, we should allow men to take care of us. Like, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Someone we rely on and depend on, though. I mean, if I can't depend on you, I might let you do that for me.
But the second you say to me, I want to do this myself, okay.
But sometimes it wasn't even about do that myself. It was, okay, there's something wrong with my car, right? Mm-hmm. That my ex could have probably fixed. And instead of me going to him and letting him feel like the man in my life, I'm going to shop. Exactly.
Oh, no. See, that's weird.
But I wasn't doing it on purpose. I grew up going to the mechanic, or just saying, I'm going to just take care of myself. I want it done at this time right now. Like, that's just how it was.
Yeah, if he's not doing it in your timely manner, then you got all right to go take it.
I didn't even give it a chance sometimes, so I'll be honest, I didn't. That's where I feel like I should have been.
I still wouldn't care.
A little. I just feel like as a female, I didn't even open up that floor enough, and I'm not. This gonna sound bad. Everything happens for a reason. I'll say that, but I don't have no regrets. Like how that ran, I just learned a lesson. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Listen, like for my next relationship, that's
strongly
all I'm
independent.
In our mo.
Right. Strongly independent. I would not care about you. I'm gonna take you to the shop. I don't need you to fix up. Okay. Oh well.
I know, but sometimes like
less for me to do.
I don't know. But but the thing is too, you're doing a lot now, you know? I was always taking care of everything myself. Like not even giving somebody a chance to be my man, besides paying for a dinner. And maybe driving, but I also hate driving. Hey, so look, if a female want to drive, then
you feel me? That you giving him time. You know what you giving him time to do? Get his stuff in order.
That's true.
He ain't got to spend that much money.
That's another reason why I used to do stuff like that.
You know, he putting that time in, and he putting the effort in all the stuff all the qualities that you want to see, not just the financial back end of the board. So it's like, now you're giving him time to get that part right. So now he can be complete.
And what else I would say about that too, though, I am happy I moved that way, because when you take that financial aspect out, because a lot of people get blinded by that financial aspect. You look at them qualities and you be like, this is something that I do want to deal with, or this is something that I don't want to deal with. So I am happy, and I'm not saying my next man I'm going to depend on him financially. I'm just saying like money is extra.
Just because you got all the money in the world don't mean you're gonna have the most successful relationship.
Exactly.
Because money is a reason to let people inflate their heads. Make people feel like they not equal. You might get a man that make more money than a woman, and then he don't see the value of the woman. And nowadays, what's happening, because most women is making more money than men, because y'all out here making it happen. Salute to y'all. But like, y'all get to that point where y'all cheat so much where it's like, why do I really need him? You feel what I'm saying? So we need each other though.
We do need each other.
The ones that they got it all themselves until they get a man and they get comfortable and just give it all up.
Exactly. And that's why I said, you know how you said that's your goal, but that's why I said, like, girls, we gotta stay driven though. Like,
I said that.
We do gotta stay driven.
I said that.
You said that.
Yeah, but we have to stay driven, because that's why I'm like, if I could depend on you, if I know you got me for real, I know you're not throwing nothing in my face, I pray to God, I'm not with someone who would do that. Like, I depend on you and you wind up doing it anyway. But I'm just saying, like, if I know that I could depend on you, you got me and stuff, at the end of the day, I'm going to still need to have my own thing going too. Because one thing that I could say, I don't know how it is for men, but I know females, I've done it, lose yourself in a relationship, and not with money, but there's other aspects you could do that in too. You want so much the best in him that you're so worried about him and what's going on with him. Like, you got your stuff together. Because I was always, like, an independent person. But at the same time, I'm still worried about, like, oh, what can we do to build you up? And not even saying he was in a bad place. But it's just, like, I want the best for you so bad. So, like, what can we do? Or that was a part, like, how you said, like, oh, he's saving money. But it was like, okay, I never want you to spend money half of the time unless it's, like, a meal or something. But even then, I was giving back. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with somebody doing a little bit more here and there, if that makes sense, And I'm not saying he never did that. I'm just saying I never really opened the floor for it. It had to be like, oh, let's go to a restaurant.
Took time for you to accept
let's go to the movies or whatever. But I just never opened up the floor for somebody to take care of me, and I just left myself in the wrong hands, I would say. But I would allow somebody to do that.
At this point, right? Well,
not right now. I don't got nobody.
At that point, anyway, you shouldn't have been doing that, because you was y'all started dating early, but between the ages of 18 and 20, I say 18 and 30 for real. 18 and 30, you should be at your most selfish points of your life.
Yeah,
it's all grind time, and you're gonna meet your people along the way, and do your things along the way. But who's to say they gonna be here forever? People are temporary. Like, you never know who's going to be.
But I wouldn't even operate based off that, though. Like, I get it. I think that we should be selfish, but I don't know. This is going to sound cheesy, so don't laugh at me. But I just have so much love to give that I feel like I'm fine with loving and caring for myself and loving and caring for someone else, too, at the same exact time. Like, I don't mind doing all that.
You prioritize yourself, though. Because you prioritize yourself so much, you're at a point where giving love don't seem so bad.
Yeah.
Because you've done enough work personally.
At least right now. Like, you know what I mean? You feel like you got a lot going.
There's a lot of people that want love because they don't want to do the personal work.
That's true. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Listen to Kai preach. People want to be in relationships because they think they can make up something or feel better for you. Like,
relationships don't fill voids. And the reality is, it's like, you can grow together, but you can't grow for nobody.
No, it's kind of sad, though.
Very sad.
People, in general, want another person to fill the void. Like, I don't even know. Because, like, the way I feel right now, like, I think that prioritizing, like you said, is a big part. And it's like getting you together, and you don't got to be perfect, because I don't think that I'm perfect. I feel like there's so much more I have to learn and all of that. But it's like, once you fill up them voids yourself or find things to do to satisfy yourself, like, I feel like only then are you willing to take on somebody else. Like, just make sure you got you first before trying to add somebody on and make them take care of you, because you're their responsibility somewhat, but they got their own life to live too. So that's how I look at it.
That's how you make sure that you're not living with no regrets. There's so many people that try to force a relationship, and then turn around and be like, well, I gave my all to this relationship and I focused on all of that and I never gave myself any time and it's your fault. But it's not. In reality, that's a decision that you made according to what you thought was going to happen.
Right.
And at the end of the day, because you didn't get the desired results, it's disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But disappointment is great motivation for improvement and change. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people aren't going to, like, look at it that way, though.
But you got to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Because if you don't look at it that way, you'll always be the victim. And if you always the victim, you ain't never looking for a reason to get better. You always looking for a reason to stay the same.
That's why I always tell everybody, when you are done in a relationship, man, you really got to look at both halves. Look at what they did. Maybe you like, okay, I don't want to put up with this next time, but also look at how you carried it and the things that you did.
Know what not to do and know what not to put up with.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
This is a question for everybody that's watching, and she started this earlier. So, if you keep getting cheated on over and over and over and over again, is the person getting cheated on partially to blame for it? Or nah? I just want to know. You feel me? Y'all comment below. You feel me? Tell us your thoughts.
We had some good conversation today.
Great
Don't y'all think?
Let's clap it out for the conversation.
All right.
I don't know if I'm going to break this up to part 2 and part 1 and part 2, but if anything, we need a part 3 because this was great.
That's your part A and B.
Yeah.
A side, B side, right?
Yeah, we're the A side.
Kiki, we agreed. What are y'all talking about? We didn't even really disagree on nothing.
Cap.
They want to be against me so bad. I really be trying to
You
like.
against us. You anticipated them being against us before the camera came on.
I wasn't even against y'all. I'm just saying men are afraid to commit.
Me
I
said
feel like that's
nada.
wrong.
You're...
We're not afraid to commit.
Yeah, men are not afraid, right?
Nope.
No.
Okay, like I said, that was that for this video. I would like to thank both of you guys for coming on today and giving us all some great conversation and letting especially the females know your side of the story. And if they do have any other questions, I might have to bring y'all back. Yeah, I might have to back up yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Make sure that you guys comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you next Thursday.
Keep your options open.
This man.